in broadcasting.
Welcome to the exciting world of Benue television, where we give you an exclusive ride into the world of news, current affairs, and entertainment. Ready for a first stop? Ride with me. Benue television.
Our news and flagship program, Daybreak Benue, keeps you informed on events and happenings around the nation and the world.
We engage our guests on hot topics and beam searchlight on shady stories.
With millions of people watching Benue TV worldwide, we ensure that we bring you news that is accurate, timely, and dependable.
Our programs are entertaining and educative with high quality audio, leaving you with an amazing viewing experience.
Benue TV, a new dimension in broadcasting.
Welcome to the exciting world of Benue television, where we give you an exclusive ride into the world of news, current affairs, and entertainment. Ready for a first stop? Ride with me. Benue television.
Our news and flagship program, Daybreak Benue, keeps you informed on events and happenings around the nation and the world.
We engage our guests on hot topics and beam searchlight on shady stories.
With millions of people watching Benue TV worldwide, we ensure that we bring you news that is accurate, timely, and dependable.
Our programs are entertaining and educative with high quality audio, leaving you with an amazing viewing experience.
Benue TV, a new dimension in broadcasting.
Welcome to the exciting world of Benue Television, where we give you an exclusive ride into the world of news, current affairs, and entertainment. Ready for a first stop? Ride with me. Benue Television.
Our news and flagship program, Daybreak Benue, keeps you informed on events and happenings around the nation and the world.
We engage our guests on hot topics and beam searchlight on shady stories.
With millions of people watching Benue TV worldwide, we ensure that we bring you news that is accurate, timely, and dependable.
Our programs are entertaining and educative with high quality audio, leaving you with an amazing viewing experience.
Benue TV, a new dimension in broadcasting.
Welcome to the exciting world of Benue Television, where we give you an exclusive ride into the world of news, current affairs, and entertainment. Ready for a first stop? Ride with me. Benue Television.
Our news and flagship program, Daybreak Benue, keeps you informed on events and happenings around the nation and the world.
We engage our guests on hot topics and beam searchlight on shady stories.
With millions of people watching Benue TV worldwide, we ensure that we bring you news that is accurate, timely, and dependable.
Our programs are entertaining and educative with high quality audio, leaving you with an amazing viewing experience.
Benue TV, a new dimension in broadcasting.
Welcome to the exciting world of Benue Television, where we give you an exclusive ride into the world of news, current affairs, and entertainment. Ready for our first stop? Ride with me. Benue Television.
Our news and flagship program, Daybreak Benue, keeps you informed on events and happenings around the nation and the world.
We engage our guests on hot topics and beam searchlight on shady stories.
With millions of people watching Benue TV worldwide, we ensure that we bring you news that is accurate, timely, and dependable.
Our programs are entertaining and educative with high quality audio, leaving you with an amazing viewing experience.
Benue TV, a new dimension in broadcasting.
Welcome to the exciting world of Benue Television, where we give you an exclusive ride into the world of news, current affairs, and entertainment. Ready for our first stop? Ride with me. Benue Television.
Our news and flagship program, Daybreak Benue, keeps you informed on events and happenings around the nation and the world.
We engage our guests on hot topics and beam searchlight on shady stories.
With millions of people watching Benue TV worldwide, we ensure that we bring you news that is accurate, timely, and dependable.
Our programs are entertaining and educative with high quality audio, leaving you with an amazing viewing experience.
Benue TV, a new dimension in broadcasting.
Welcome to the exciting world of Benue Television, where we give you an exclusive ride into the world of news, current affairs, and entertainment. Ready for a first stop? Ride with me. For Benue Television.
Our news and flagship program, Daybreak Benue, keeps you informed on events and happenings around the nation and the world.
We engage our guests on hot topics and beam searchlight on shady stories.
With millions of people watching Benue TV worldwide, we ensure that we bring you news that is accurate, timely, and dependable.
Our programs are entertaining and educative with high quality audio, leaving you with an amazing viewing experience.
Benue TV, a new dimension in broadcasting.
Welcome to the exciting world of Benue Television, where we give you an exclusive ride into the world of news, current affairs, and entertainment. Ready for our first stop? Ride with me. Benue Television.
Our news and flagship program, Daybreak Benue, keeps you informed on events and happenings around the nation and the world.
We engage our guests on hot topics and beam searchlight on shady stories.
With millions of people watching Benue TV worldwide, we ensure that we bring you news that is accurate, timely, and dependable.
Our programs are entertaining and educative with high quality audio, leaving you with an amazing viewing experience.
Benue TV, a new dimension in broadcasting.
Welcome to the exciting world of Benue Television, where we give you an exclusive ride into the world of news, current affairs, and entertainment. Ready for our first stop? Ride with me. Benue Television.
Our news and flagship program, Daybreak Benue, keeps you informed on events and happenings around the nation and the world.
We engage our guests on hot topics and beam searchlight on shady stories.
With millions of people watching Benue TV worldwide, we ensure that we bring you news that is accurate, timely, and dependable.
Our programs are entertaining and educative with high quality audio, leaving you with an amazing viewing experience.
Benue TV, a new dimension in broadcasting.
Welcome to the exciting world of Benue Television, where we give you an exclusive ride into the world of news, current affairs, and entertainment. Ready for a first stop? Ride with me. Benue Television.
Our news and flagship program, Daybreak Benue, keeps you informed on events and happenings around the nation and the world.
We engage our guests on hot topics and beam searchlight on shady stories.
With millions of people watching Benue TV worldwide, we ensure that we bring you news that is accurate, timely, and dependable.
Our programs are entertaining and educative with high quality audio, leaving you with an amazing viewing experience.
Benue TV, a new dimension in broadcasting.
And even give a reasonable amount of time. If things are not changed, they can come back and protest.
Honorable Agada, with the indices, because ever since when President Bola Tinubu came on board, just like my colleague here Jaffe said, he did do away with subsidy. At the same time also floated the naira. Mind you, at that point in time we didn't have a central bank governor, so we couldn't even have any monetary policy taking decisively to decide whether the naira should be floated or not. And at that point in time he was advised, even he himself has come out to admit, he was advised not to do both of them at the same time, but he felt that those were drastic measures he needed to take. Now, having established that, don't you think that the government is rather throwing a reactionary approach to this protest? Why am I asking? Why am I posing this? This is due to the fact that, like you said, the citizens are expected to be patient, but a hungry man is an angry man. We have 135 million Nigerians in multi-dimensional poverty. 85 million Nigerians sleep hungry every day. That is a reality on ground. And if you look at the prices of food in the market, it is very expensive. Yes, the federal government just approved the minimum wage, but you and I know very well that even the minimum wage cannot buy you a bag of rice. Not to talk of a bag of beans, which is way above 100,000 naira now. So, your position that the citizens ought to exercise, or not me say are expected to be patient. Don't you think that that is rather putting the cart before the horse?
Just like I said, those policies, especially the removal of subsidy, in the long run is in the best interest of the country, because we're borrowing. Maybe in the next 20-30 years there will be, Nigeria will be completely sold out, because we'll be borrowing more than we can ever be able to repay. You understand? And it is not in the good interest of the integrity of the country. And when President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on his inaugural speech said subsidy is gone, doesn't mean that he removed it. So the payment of subsidy has stopped, and he has no intention of continuing it. That's why he made that statement. So
why didn't the past president announce it? This subsidy was not provided for by President, former President Muhammadu Buhari.
Yes.
Now, don't you think he was rather diplomatic and also wise enough to have not broken the news to Nigeria?
I believe there's no justification as to the way and the manner that removal of subsidy was announced, because it is not just the removal of the subsidy, it's the fear of what the remover would do.
But wouldn't you admit that the federal
Yes,
government
it
was
was.
actually hasty?
Yes.
And if you want to say impudent in the way it actually, went about the removal of the subsidy. Remove the subsidy, yes, there's no doubt about that. That was a long time coming.
Yeah.
And we needed to do that, whether we like it or not. But the fact that the Naira was also floated, given the fact that already Nigerians started experiencing hardship from the previous year, which President Tinubu has also admitted. But what I'm trying to get at is the fact that the president did all of this knowing fully well that the situation on ground was extremely volatile. So at this point in time, saying Nigerians should not protest, 1 year is enough. 1 year is enough for Nigerians to have a sense of direction in seeing the sincerity of the government in terms of where it's going.
Are
which
we
at
not
this
seeing
point
the
in time,
sincerity?
hold on. So which at this point in time, Nigerians are not seeing the sincerity, which is why they are calling for the end to bad governance.
Why?
So don't you think that their concerns are actually germane?
Why is the Nigerian people so judgmental at this point? There are policies that the Tinubu administration is putting in place, including the student loan. Now he has given minimum wage, and there are basic infrastructure that have been put in place everywhere in the country.
So Honorable Agada, you are saying Nigerians are being judgmental.
Yes, at this point.
But don't you think that that's unfair? Because at this point in time, the fact of the matter remains that things that ought to be in the country are not in place. And like I said, Nigerians want to see sincerity from the government, which they are not seeing. So at this point in time,
At what point would you say Nigeria there's no sincerity?
You did mention the minimum wage, the student loan, and other interventions.
Yes.
These are just words that we're hearing. Nigerians want to see food on the table. Even if these are policies that have been announced, the fact that they have not translated into immediate execution means that somewhere along the line there is something that Nigerians have not seen, which is what is warranting this protest.
I completely agree with you and your position that the policies are in words that have not been implemented. Yes, there are gradual steps that such things take before it trickle down to the.
So don't you think your position that Nigerians are judgmental is a little bit unfair?
It is.
Not even a little bit unfair. It's actually unfair at the moment.
What we need to even ask here is that you said, why are Nigerians becoming judgmental now? Weren't they judgmental before?
Why were they not judgmental before?
Nigerians have always been judgmental. Today
So what we were looking at is that if this statement, what you have said here, is not retract, it will look as if it is now that President Tinubu is on board that Nigerians are beginning to realize that they have rights. Hitherto, they never realized that. But let's put this to you. Do you know how many times the president of this country has protested in the past while he was a young man and when he became a party man? Can you tell us the number of times?
No,
against bad government?
Yes, even against
within the time of his protest and all of that. I don't think I know how many times he has protested.
Good.
But I can speak for my own self.
Yeah.
But the truth is that seriously, what we need in this country now is to be patient, not just be patient for our government to try and think of better policies that can suit our economic hardship that we're facing right now.
Now, when you're talking about policies, see, Nigerians are saying they are tired of hearing paper policies. Nigerians need action. It's just like you have a family, Honorable, don't you? You do. Now, you go out and you come back to tell your children that, and look, I went out, I moved around, I moved up to 50 kilometers and I was able to bring food to the table. Nigerians are saying that in the immediate term, we are hungry, there is insecurity, and of course the economy, the interest rate keeps skyrocketing, increasing without having measures to make lives easy for the people. So what do you think Mr. President should be doing now beyond policies? Because this is a time for action. So do you think the actions of Mr. President are enough for Nigerians to say, look, let's give him some more time?
I don't think it's enough yet. There's more that needs to be done. And I know, I'm aware that some certain palliative are going around the state for distribution.
Are the palliatives truly reaching those who are in need of the palliatives?
It depends on the people distributing the palliative.
Should that really be the case? Should that be the case?
Now, I hope you are aware that it was, announced that up to 20 trucks of rice will reach the 36 states, including the FCT. Have you seen the rice?
I have not seen any rice.
These are the realities that the Nigerian people are saying. When you tell us
there's a policy,
let us see the implementation immediately, because this is a state of emergency. So let's be very candid. You belong to the All Progressives Congress.
Yeah.
Beyond party politics, do you think Mr. President has done enough for Nigerians to actually say, let's wait more to see what he's going to do?
In the past 1 year specifically.
Done. And the difference between the policy and what is on ground, seriously, I believe that the president is on the right track. And for the fact that he has put in place all of this thing, and there's a mismanagement in the channel, or the lack of accountability in the channel of distribution, doesn't mean that such things have not been done genuinely from the president.
Yes.
You understand? So we cannot just judge him by what.
That's all right. I would want you to compare Mr. President in terms of when he was a governor of Lagos State, the transformation that took place in Lagos, which you visited Lagos as a younger person several times and you saw the transformation yourself, compared to what is happening now that he's, because Lagos is seen as a small country to other nations, because the economy is huge enough to be compared to other nations. Now, let's be very candid. When Mr. President was the governor of Lagos State, and now that he's the president of the country, in which of his administrations did you see more proactiveness?
Lagos is a state, and in fact smaller than Benue in landmass.
Yes.
And
we're talking about the economy here.
The economy,
small but viable economy.
Yes, that's the truth. Lagos, when he was governing Lagos, it's not the same economic reality that we're experiencing now that was then when he was the governor. In fact, things were easily done when he was the governor then. And we're now talking about a whole country with diverse challenges that have metamorphosed from that time when he was a governor.
Weren't diversities in Lagos?
The diversity.
Lagos is about one of the states with the highest number of tribes.
Yes, I agree with
highest number of business persons.
I agree with you totally. But we're talking about a whole country now, when diversity is more religious.
So are you now saying that the country is too big for Mr. President to handle? It should have been reduced to a governor. Is that what you're saying?
What are you saying?
Sorry,
no, it's just a question.
Yeah, it's a question.
You're looking at the size now.
No. What I'm saying is that Mr. President should be given time to properly.
Like how much time?
I think 5-6 months. Let's see what is up to.
Now, Honorable Agada, there's something you mentioned. Is you had actually admitted that there are policies, but the implementation seems to be is actually the problem, because along the line of implementation, we have mismanagement and lack of accountability.
Yes.
Now, those are two german concerns of Nigerians, because we see a lot of mismanagement on the side of government in terms of how it's using resources, and we see a lack of accountability in terms of people who it's giving sensitive responsibilities to execute, and they are not doing it, they are not delivering, and it seems like they are going away scot-free. So the question Nigerians are asking is, does President Tinubu appreciate the fact that we actually voted for him to give us this renewed hope, and is he actually delivering this I beg your pardon, this renewed hope. Because whether you like it or not, what seems to be playing out here is the fact that Nigerians are not comfortable with how things are in the country at the moment.
Yes.
And the president has repeatedly assured us that he has taken up to 33 years to study the problem of Nigeria. So he came in ready to hit the ground running. But at the moment, it looks like that is not what we are seeing. So don't you think that at this point in time, that everything is so volatile and, you know, tempers are rising, the president ought to actually sit down and have a conversation with the citizens at this point, saying, okay, I might have gotten wrong on the wrong foot here and here and here, but this is what I'm doing, and then please call me to order, or call me to account if such and such and such is not done. Don't you think that the president has the right to, don't you think that Nigerians have the right to expect that from the president?
I completely agree with you, because when things are going in a way that you don't expect, some explanation is normally required to state the position of things and to nip in the bud where the challenges are, and to see where we can learn or correct or see which is the way forward. I believe the citizens of our great country do need that kind of explanation.
So let me ask you this question.
There is something that
just a question.
Let it not escape my memory now. Let's fix this, because you had said earlier, you admitted yourself that you are not comfortable with the way things are happening in the country. All you have been asking for is give Mr. President more time.
Yes.
Which Mr. President himself has also asked for more time.
Yes.
Now, Nigerians are also asking for more from Mr. President. I want to ask you to be very candid. Do you agree with the position recently posited by Senator representing Benue North in the Senate? That's Ali Ndume. He said the president is embroiled in the cubicle where he cannot listen and understand the plight of the people. That his advisors and his cabinet is not telling him what is happening, the reality picture in the larger country. Do you think Mr. President is truly aware of the concerns of the citizens in this country?
I can assure you that Mr. President is a listening man. He's been a politician for a very long time, and he also leverage on talking to people, bringing people together. I would totally disagree with that position that says the president is in a cubicle where he cannot be in touch with the reality of.
Do you think Mr. President accepts criticism?
Why not?
Why was Senator Ali Ndume, sacked from his position?
That's the national party politics.
No, but of course it trickles down to the subnational.
I am a member of the State House of Assembly in Benue. Their politics at the National Assembly.
So the opposition camps are now saying that Mr. President is not willing to listen. He's not willing to accept criticism. And there can never be good democracy without criticism. Don't you think so? You have criticized leaders in the past.
Yes.
And even now that you are a member of the State Assembly, you are being criticized in your immediate constituency by some persons. Don't you think so?
I didn't think of that one.
You want to tell us that everyone in Ogbadibo is comfortable with what you're doing?
Yes, I can tell you that.
100%.
Why are you that confident?
I am confident because
it's all right.
I am another allier to my Ogbadibo.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That's interesting. Now,
it's okay.
What I was trying to ask before, Japheth came in was from everything that has gone on from, this protest didn't just start today. There were, signs that protests were coming in, and initially the position of government was that you do not protest. I don't want you to protest, because even the president, when he went to London, had an interview with BBC, said there were actually sinister motives behind the protest, which he would not advise. But somehow along the line, the government has changed its position. Government now is agreeing to the fact that Nigerians have the right to protest.
Yes, they do.
And Nigerians are going to be protected. Now, having established that, don't you think that at this point in time, the government ought to sit down and do certain drastic measures? Let me give you an example. We've talked about mismanagement and lack of accountability. The Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Dr. Betta Endu, lost her position over a year ago. Nigerians want to know what's going on. A panel was set up. What's the result of the panel? Who has been indicted? How much money has been, recovered? Don't you think that Nigerians ought to have an answer to that? Secondly, Nigerians are, let me not say feeling aggrieved, Nigerians feel slighted by the fact that our lawmakers go home with such a jumbo pay in this time when things are, let me use my colleagues' word, economically peppering us. Yes. And from the look of things, it's like they do not understand the disparity, or let me say the disconnect between them up there and we down here. So don't you think that calling for pay cuts at this point in time is actually, something that, even if it's not going to solve the immediate problem, but it will show sincerity on the part of government? Don't you think that Nigerians have the right to expect all of this? Because these are one of the, or let me say, some of the concerns they've raised alongside the protest.
Yes, I totally agree with you, and the position of the expression and the demands of the people as to accountability on the part of government and government functionaries, and also for cost of running government itself. I believe this is something that the Tinubu administration and even our governor alias administration should also take to mind, because if some of these things are not given attention, the people will feel there is no genuine concern for their plight. When the people are suffering, like us in the bottom here are suffering, then they are having a huge salaries and allowances, while giving loopholes for mismanagement and all of that in the government. So if something is done about that, it will generally show a great concern for the plight of the people.
Now, Honorable Agada, having said all of that, do you think at this point in time we ought to have a referendum by Nigerians on whether we should have the two, that's the red and the green chamber, both the Senate and the House of Representatives running together? Shouldn't we go back to the parliamentary system? Because it looks like this is just, waste of government resources, taxpayers' money.
It is up to the people to decide the kind of government they want. If I believe if it is one chamber and there's that of the state, I don't see any problem with that, because look at the House of Rep slashing, I think, a percentage of their salary.
Why didn't the Senate? Why didn't they touch? No, it's not even about the Senate. Why didn't they touch? The bulk of what comes to them is from the overhead. Why didn't they touch the overhead?
Are you now chanting the?
No. It's just a question, because across the world, salaries are just a constitutional thing. The overhead is always verbose. Even you at the state here, you know what is the overhead. Without the overhead, you cannot even move.
Yes.
Good. Now that we are having this problem, biting and peppering Nigerians, even the Benue State people, if not for the dogged spirit of our amiable governor, I was expecting that the State Assembly here, the 10th Assembly, will say that you, Honorable and Agada, will lead on the floor that, look, let's slash our overhead to see that we reach out to these people and give them some palliatives. What are you people doing for your constituencies now that the economy is quite biting, to help Mr. President cushion the effect? What are you doing?
This is a very, very tough question. Tough in the sense that my own decision or opinion on whether we should slash our overheads or salary would not hold water until the majority.
Why won't it hold water?
I'm just one person.
Yes.
You might not know. Somebody might, other compatriots, just all of your colleagues might also have the same thing in line as well, just like Japheth is saying.
No, it's a true reflection of maybe a show of concern that you make sacrifice at this point when everybody's suffering and there's hunger in the land. And I truly, sincerely think it's a way to go if we can reason a pay cut.
So
on
so
our
so
own
so
part.
so we'll be watching out, because we watch you every time when there is a plenary. We'll be watching out to see when you're going to raise that motion on the floor of the assembly. And if you do not, maybe next time you visit Benue Television, we'll still go back to that question. I think we're due for a break at this point. We will be back to continue with our interactions with Honorable Ismail and Agada Samuel, who is a member representing the great people of Badibo local government area. Let's come back shortly from the break, much later. Welcome back to the program. This is Daybreak Benue on Benue Television, and Honorable Agada Ismaila is here talking to the Benue people on what should be done as concerns the impending protest in Nigeria. And now before we went on the break, remember that we're trying to talk about what needs to be done. How much of the party men helping Mr. President to fix the economy? How much of his economic team working together in synergy with the central bank to ensure that we have a stable economy? These are issues that are not well explained to the people of Nigeria. How much of the explanation is coming from constituency members across the states? The Welcome back to the program. This is Daybreak Benue on Benue Television, and we sincerely apologize for that glitch. It was technical. Right now we are back to continue with our engagement here in the studios with the Honorable Member representing Ogbadibon State Constituency in the Benue State House of Assembly, Honorable Ismaila Samuel Agada. Well, let's look at there are key indices that we need to take a look at. Mr. President has a cabinet that is nearly 48 persons. He's still appointing more persons. When he appointed the people, he said his cabinet is going to undergo a periodic review, which means if you do not perform well, you'll be asked to go home. So that there are 1 million Nigerians that are eager to serve. Why is Mr. President holding on to a team that the citizens are perceiving that is not helping him enough to be able to galvanize a better economy for the country. If you had the opportunity to meet with Mr. President one-on-one, what would you tell him about his big cabinet, which, according to the citizens of this country, seem to be toothless in terms of action?
Thank you. I believe Mr. President knows what he's doing, and for the fact that he has engaged the much of those cabinet members, numbering up to 40 something, means that he wanted them to do a thorough job in their areas that he had put them. I would not be in a position to start accusing or pointing that a particular cabinet member is not doing their jobs very well.
But you agree that some ought not to be there by now?
We have the humanitarian minister that has been removed.
Suspended. Not removed yet. It's suspended.
It still means removed.
Suspended.
And now you're speaking like a party man.
Yes, and there are others who Nigerians perceive not to be working. Now, let me get your perspective. When you think of the economic policies of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, do you think he got it right? Mind you, inflation as at August last year was about 25.08. That has spiked up, gone forward by 10 points. And interest rate is 30, which, of course, you know that is not sustainable. We cannot have interest rate at that so high and expect that businesses will thrive. If people like Dangote, even Dangote, and then sorry, I'm trying to get this man's name, Jimmy Ovia, the president of Zenith Bank, and other key stakeholders would complain about the interest rate. Don't you think that the economic trajectory of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu seems to be topsy-turvy at the moment?
Yeah, I totally agree with you, and I think possibly the way and manner they are going about trying to work on the economy is actually more like a trial and error, obviously. But I believe for the fact that such policies and programs that they have tried to see how to better the economy have not yielded the needed results, I believe they will also employ alternative measures to see how to better the economy and see how interest rate will reduce and all of that. But there's a major thing that, on my own opinion, I feel should be the major thing that will stabilize not just the market forces and all of it, is just the price of fuel, the price of petroleum product. And if that is drastically reduced, you see prices of things coming down, and even the minimum wage will mean something to a common Nigerian. If the price of fuel comes down, cost of transportation comes down, the cost of things in the market will also drop, because they're no longer paying as much to transport those things from the farm to the market. So it's not even about the dollar or anything. It is about the cost of maintaining their economy, which is the fuel.
So, Honorable Gada, would you agree, or would you say, I don't know how to put it, what's your factual, let me say, your frank opinion? Do you think that the NNPC is managing the oil sector as it should? Because NNPC is directly and indirectly responsible for the mess that we're in at the moment.
We're in a mess, obvious. So if we're in a mess, they should take full responsibility for putting us in the mess.
Have you ever asked this question, Honorable Agada, that why is it that we have lots of refineries in Nigeria? Why are they not operational? You recall one of the Port Harcourt refinery was said to have been up and working.
Yes, at one time.
Till now, we have not heard. That's when President Tinubu took over. The Kaduna refinery was due to take over. I mean, to take off operations. Till now, we have not heard anything.
July, but now it's been slated for August.
Now it was moved to August. Have you heard any sign that a refinery is about to take off operations? Now, this is a sincerity on the part of government that is lacking. Don't you think these are the reasons why Nigerians are insisting that there should be a protest? When you cannot account for what is happening, the people become apprehensive. Don't you think so?
I totally agree with you. These are major facilities that are built with the intention of helping our economy, helping the Nigerian system. You're not just talking about the refinery, the Jakarta steel rolling mill. You understand? There are other facilities of government that possibly are there not being operational because of one reason or the other, which might be politics. You understand? I totally would not agree with anybody supporting that these facilities should be left comatose for any reason. I believe if that will also alleviate poverty and reduce the cost of fuel and all of that we're producing, and we're refining and selling our fuel here, and we're not just focusing on just one refinery. All of our refineries are working. It's a good thing.
So
that's right. Now I want us to also we are not lovers of history in the country, but sometimes we use the history to build the present. I want us to take our minds in retrospect. The first ever terrible coup that we had in 1966 was birthed from a protest that took place in 1965. The coup that was spearheaded by Lieutenant Colonel Muritala Mohammed then. You recall the devastation that the economy faced. Then the economic hub of our nations, we had Kaduna, we had Ibadan, we had Lagos. Now all of these places received wanton destruction. The Niger River was blocked, no passage. Benue River was blocked, no passage. And this took place for only 2 days. Only 2 days, we know what Nigeria lost at that time.
That's true.
We are not good with the issue of protests, obviously. Don't you think protest is likely to take us back from square one if this holds?
That's actually my fear. And as a human being, as someone who believes in progress, the protests, when mismanaged, can take us 2 steps backward.
So what assurance do we have that this may not be mismanaged? Because even the IGP is not certain.
That's the fear. We don't know what the outcome of this protest will be.
But do you think the government has handled the way this protest started properly? Because from the look of things, it seems like the government is talking to the youths, not listening to them. Because if the government was listening to them, by now they should have been, even we're not talking of a compromise, but some people would have come to the table and say, okay, at least we can give the government a benefit of doubt. We're shoving this protest, we're going to give the government such and such a time, and when we see that government has not done this, then we can now proceed. But it looks like that is not even happening, because this is 31st of July.
I disagree with you. The government, through the governor, our state governor, has addressed interest group even yesterday in the government house, telling them about the need to be patient.
We're talking about the state. This now has to do with the federal, the national level now.
The national level is part of the state. The protest can happen here, there, anywhere.
But don't you think a decisive word...
people, are they willing to protest?
They will not protest. Why?
What assurance
can you have it on good authority?
Why? Can you give us that
Let me say how.
They will not protest because I addressed a teeming population of our youth yesterday, and I told them there was no need for you to go out there. If you go out there, I cannot guarantee your safety. And when something happened to you, you fall back to me and say, please, so I'm in the hospital, I've lost somebody, I've lost.
Okay, now you've established now. So don't you think that a decisive word from Mr. President can also, shelve this protest? Because whether you like it or not, he's the father of the nation. He's speaking through various people who Nigerians deem as insincere. But if a word comes from him, don't you think that that can be,
It will go a long way.
decisive moment in all of this?
Your point is very, very clear and very straightforward. I believe and I also strongly agree with you that the president should address the nation, address the youth on this matter, and tell them and sincerely, genuinely give them the reason why they should not go out there, and assure them. And
because viral
the president,
pictures or viral
has
have been
reacted
going on social media.
You know that
the president has spoken and said such and such.
But I think one of that was debunked also. I believe, just like I said, the president needs to address the country.
It's okay. The president needs to address the now. Let's also, don't you think that the governor of the state, the Reverend Father Dr. Hyacinth Malia, also needs to speak to the state publicly?
Yes, I on my way to this studio, I overheard him on the radio addressing the people of the state, and in his address he made mention of the fact that the people of Benue need to be patient with the system, not just him in the state, but also the federal government, that we need to be patient, and he appealed for calm and also explain why this protest should not hold, because of the fact that it can be mismanaged at any point.
So now, do you think with what the governor has said, with your efforts as well as other assembly members across constituencies in the state, can you give us that assurance that we are not going to have a protest in the state?
I am very confident that our people have seen reason with the governor, and the governor, you don't even have to see reason with him. See the infrastructural development. If this protest holds,
no, but the problem is beyond infrastructure. You could have infrastructure.
Stomach is another infrastructure.
Good.
Yes, stomach is another infrastructure. We are talking about hunger, yes. And the governor has addressed the people, and he has given directive to agencies that are responsible to cushion this thing. And it is ongoing as I'm talking to you. And he made it very clear that if this thing goes on, it is the Benue people that will suffer. It is the Benue infrastructure that will suffer. We are thinking of building. There are people who are poised there to destroy. And if we open this window for them through this protest, it will not all go well for the state.
Now,
it's all right. Now, when it comes to protests, the issue of party politics would need to be shelved off.
Definitely.
We are divided along party lines, ethnicity, and lots more. In the state, we have 3 political parties that are always in front. Apart from the ruling All Progressives Congress, we have the People's Democratic Party, we have the Labour Party. And most of the times, once one party wins, the other party begins to see the ruling party as, an enemy. Protest most of the times is performed by strong opposition members. Don't you think, have you carried along the opposition in the state? Because this is about protest, and we need to have one Benue working together.
I believe the protest, the opposition party, to experiencing what we're experiencing. Hunger does not have any tribe or any religion. So if you belong to APC or PDP, doesn't mean that you will not experience the same hunger that we're experiencing everywhere. And they are also part of the solution, as they are also seeing the effort being made by the president. They are very much aware of the impact, or the devastating impact of a protest going bad. You understand? So they are conversant with governance, and they are conversant with infrastructures and what happened to them when protests go bad. So I'm very sure the opposition party too are aware.
By way of comparison, let's look at President Jonathan's administration. Let's look at President Muhammadu Buhari's administration and put it at pair with your principal at the national level administration, that's talking about President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, which of the presidents do you think was good with handling the economy? Or it is too early to judge President Tinubu based on what you're saying?
Yes, it's too early to start with judging President Tinubu. It's just a year and some months. And to start with, the challenges that we're having in this government and the other ones are not the same, you understand? We have an economy that was easier to manage as at then. Now that the impact of globalization and free trade and all of that cutting our ability to tax properly.
So you're saying that globalization and free trade didn't happen in those previous administrations he mentioned?
But the rate at which they're happening.
Because in Yar'Adua's administration, in June, inflation was 6.9%. In July, it dropped to 4.5%. In August, it dropped in 4. It dropped to 4.
It is Yar'Adua
hold on. I'm getting
it
somewhere.
It is Yar'Adua you're talking about.
Now, with Tinubu, inflation was 24%.
Tinubu inherited a government that was
in June.
Taking a nose
it now
dive.
drove to 25%. Now, from June, that's in July. From July 9 now went to 28.80%. Now, we are still practicing free trade, and we're still in the global era. In short, let me call it, we're in the digital era now.
Yes,
now, having established all of this, don't you think that there's a disconnect? Something seems to be wrong somewhere.
With whose government?
That's the question for you to answer.
No, the truth is that the President Ahmed Tinubu government is trying its best to resuscitate a government that has been in turbulence, not just in the economy, but every other sectors were on life support. So this current administration is struggling to lift the head and put it on track.
The Nigerians, in as much as you are saying that the government is struggling, want to see that the leaders who are asking for sacrifices are also making the sacrifices they are asking Nigerians, which is what Nigerians are not seeing.
I believe it's a genuine plight to ask for genuine intention from our leaders. You understand? To say, okay, this is what I've sacrificed. When I talk about the House of Rep having a pay cut, you said it was inconsequential, but that's a step to show that.
What about the cabinet ministers?
The cabinet, are you aware of their salaries?
You know, they all receive overheads.
Yes, which is why I'm posing the question.
See, the truth is that you can't force them to do what they don't want to do.
It's not a matter of forcing, but we are asking, posing that question. Don't you think that they too also told that line, so that we can see what we actually want is for this protest not to happen. We want to ensure that Nigeria remains as peaceful as possible and also grow, while at the same time ensuring that our leaders are sincere in giving us the renewed hope which they promised.
You are correct. Every leader in their respective spheres and offices and positions need to show responsibility, and by showing responsibility you show genuine concern for the citizen, the people you're leading, and by also doing your job well at whatever office, as you're talking about the cabinet members of the Mr. President. I think for cabinet members, I think for the fact that they are not elected, they could leave the office at any time. They should, they are appointees of the president. They should not be in this cubicle that you're putting leadership to now. Let us look at people who we elected, people who we can hold accountable, who know their houses and their, what are you doing? If you cannot cut your pay, what are you doing to alleviate hunger in your home?
That's right. Let's talk about the aspect of patriotism. Are you aware that most of our elder statesmen are already in UK, in US and other nations now? They run away because they know they can't predict the outcome of the protest. Does that show a sense of patriotism? Because if Halbert Macaulay, if Nandi Azikiwe, if Tafawa Balewa had fled the country, we wouldn't have got the independence that we have had today. Do you think our leaders today are patriotic enough for us to trust them?
I would not generalize, but I would just look at those who are cowardly enough to say when the fight is hot, then you now leave your position, your post. You won't do that as a leader. If you want to lead by example. Show that you can make the greatest sacrifice for your people by running away from the country and putting yourself in a position where you can be comfortable. Where you are, people build that place to make sure it's comfortable for themselves. Going to US, UK, and Canada and everything, going to hide from a protest that is possibly you have hand in it, or it is possibly because you didn't do your job well. That's why there's a protest or agitation. It's the most cowardly thing that any leader can do.
Now, Honorable Agada, you have an immediate constituency. So, ever since you came on board, what are the challenges you faced? Giving out your duties legislatively, and apart from that, what do you think you could do better? Because in as much as talking about the national level, you also have to look at where it bites the most, the immediate environment. What can you do to elevate the needs and desires of the people of Obadipo?
For me, my Obadipo, there's a great departure from what it means to be a member of assembly then and now.
Please explain further.
Yes, since my coming into office as an assembly member, first of all, I opened a constituency office. I empowered a group of women, over 300, with some small skills like tailoring and all of that. Then I have resuscitated electricity in the heart of Obadipo, where the previous people did not look towards that for over 4 years. There was no light, and the people are happy for it. And I've raised a pole that is up to 17 poles and renewed the wiring within. So people are enjoying electricity within the metropolitan town of Otukpa, and I've also extended it to the Orokamu people.
How about water? Because the people there are faced with water issues.
I also have mobilized for a borehole to be dug around a Fugo town.
Do you think one is enough?
It is my strength that I can work with. I'm only an assembly member.
What about programs for the youth? Because these are critical people in your constituency.
And for the youth, I have been with them like we're more like pallies. I first of all introduced a back to school free palliative of 10,000 to each youth, over 100 of them. And
you mean across the tertiary institutions?
Across the tertiary institutions.
Okay.
From everywhere. And I've also currently ongoing.
It means there is lots of money in the assembly.
I am trying my best. I'm trying my best. I want to. It's a personal sacrifice. If you really, I'm not just an assembly member. I'm also a businessman. So I believe with this position I should use it to help people. Currently, I'm also engaging the intending JAMB candidates to train them with ICT computer training in the whole of Obadipo. It's supposed to start on the 5th and end on the 17th
of August.
Yes.
Okay.
So this one is ongoing right now.
So let's talk about legislation. What have you done so far?
In the chambers.
Is there any bill? Is there any law to your credit?
Yes, there are. As a matter of fact, I've sponsored the repeal of the law that made provision for former governors, the Otun pension law.
Why did you choose that one? You don't intend to become a governor?
And even I become a governor, I don't need a pension. I don't need a pension. We're struggling to pay salaries of workers. There are pension arrears and everything that.
No, but even with the repeal, they are still pensionable.
Who?
I said even with the repeal, are the governors not entitled to something at the end of the month?
They are not with this law. It's a law that's been passed.
So did you do this out of partisan consideration, or you did it out of your right to defend what is right and to ensure that what is right
when
is
I,
right?
like I said, getting to the assembly, when I was writing that my name on that nomination form, my eye was on that bill. I said, wherever it is, we're going to open it and discard it. That is it was my passion. Like, I felt, how would you, as a governor, your children cannot be poor because of the wealth you must have amassed from the office, and you're now taking from the state that is struggling to pay salaries and pay arrears, and you're now adding to the burden of workers' salary and the wage bill is unreasonable. And apart from that law, I've also domesticated I wrote a bill on the establishment of Benue State Power Management Agency. So it gives us the opportunity as Benue people to domesticate the power law and see how we can benefit from power management, both licenses, generating, distribution of power. We can do it in Benue State. We can we have river. We can decide to dam any part of the river and generate our electricity. We can also call investors to come and invest in the power sector in the state. And this, we can also hold Gencos to be responsible for their facilities. You understand? Every year you see government making budgets on power, rural electrification, and all of that. You spend money, you put it. These people, the NEPA, they will take over the structure, but when it falls down, they will dissociate themselves from it, and it is still them that will collect the bills and everything, the revenue that is accrued from that spending of government.
Yeah.
So
now you're speaking like a businessman.
No,
not like a legislator.
No, the truth is that we have to hold them accountable. We are even talking of holding them to best safety practices. Yes. You understand? There are some areas that they use substandard product facility. I mean, their equipment for. That's why you see people's house getting burned without. That's because they didn't use the right what they call materials. For this thing. So by domesticating this law, the agency will monitor whatever is in the market, our Benue market, that is not good for us. They will now check. You understand? They also be there to see if your facility, like a pole wire, is down or something, and it's going to cause mayhem or injure our Benue people. They will hold you to go and do that. And if you don't do that, they will charge it to you. You understand?
Yeah, so why before you took over from the 9th Assembly, there were other bees like covering the widows in the society. I know how far the bill went, and because of the exit of the 9th Assembly, we didn't hear about that again. Are there bees you inherited that were beautiful from the last administration and you want to propel them to the last level of passage?
As a matter of fact, I have been doing my work by myself, researching the bills that have been there and the ones that have been passed that I feel need some sort of amendment. So we're checking them.
So which area are you looking at now in the next? Because lawmaking is a continuous
process.
Yes,
I am looking at first another the climate change bill that is coming. Is already on the go for
Why
me.
the climate change bill?
Yes, the climate change. We are in Benue, and the climate change law, we have to domesticate it to see how we can benefit and people can help us to reposition the state on how we can respond to the change in our environment. You see, we are talking about issues of flooding, and this is also very bad, that people sit here in their houses and they wake up in the morning and find themselves in River Benue. It is quite terrible. So the climate change law now, when we domesticate it, we can reach out to people who are willing to invest and help. You understand? And we're talking about there are organizations that could help us plant more trees. You understand? To see how we can increase the numbers of trees that we have, and waste management and recycling agencies and people can come in and invest and help us manage our environment.
That's right. Now let's come back to the issue of protests, because time is fast spent and any moment we'll be saying goodbye. Let's look at the merits of this protest. Whether no matter how we control this, there are states that will still embark on protest.
That's true.
Let's talk about management of the protest. Do you know that it is your responsibility as a constituent, a senior constituent in Obadibo, not to feel disappointed, but go back to feed protesters if they should embark on protests? And if they do, will you be willing to do that?
To go and feed them?
Yes. While they are in the protest, they deserve to eat, because they are exercising a constitutional right. Do you think you'll be able to go back to give them food?
I don't think I will do that.
And will you feel disappointed?
I will feel like, okay, you're putting myself at risk. Like you're risking me.
Yes.
Now,
Risking you how?
How? Because if something happens to you, I will take full responsibility.
Yes.
You understand? And if, as you're there, I will not rest, I will not sleep. But to go and feed you, to have more energy to continue in something that I do not want.
Constitutionally, do you know that you're supposed to provide protection for them while they do the protest?
But it's not every protection that is guaranteed. You understand?
No, but from the way you have sounded, you're not willing to.
It is not feeding them is not protection. It is fueling.
You are ensuring their safety when you feed them.
No.
Because some might actually develop some, God forbid, health challenges in the
then you should have been at home.
These are things that you cannot foresee. Now, by the way, do you think that, because your posture now, from what Japheth is asking, your posture has been established, but I'll still pose this question to you. Do you think that there will be a sellout on those who would actually want to protest? Let me give an example. Kano already is leading the forefront. Yesterday, a statement was, given, was made official by the NANS chapter in Kano, disassociating itself from the position of NANS in Abuja, saying they were not going to embark on protest. Now in Kano, they have said they are not in line with what NANS has said in Abuja. They are embarking on protest. Not only that, they have also spoken to their imams who have been admonishing them not to go on protest, that they would go on protest. So don't you think that there will be a sellout on the part of those who would want to protest, just like those who would not want to protest?
I believe in every family, it's not every child that does what the parent says. You understand? So if peradventure some persons decide to embark on this thing, it's still within their right. But with this effort that the government have made to appeal to the conscience of the citizens to not embark on this protest, I think a whole number of people will not
but they have valid concerns.
Yes, valid, but the position of the government too is also valid.
But don't you think that
now,
it
how
doesn't
do you
spell
feel?
well for government?
How do you feel with the position of the IGP? He said where all available means is explored and there is no control. If there is breakdown of law and order, force should be applied.
The force, applying force.
Are you comfortable with that?
Are you comfortable with it? Because that's the first question.
I am not comfortable with that, because there are people's family out there that are genuine, with a genuine plight to speak up their mind, to express themselves, which is their constitutional right. And if a force is applied to them and they get injured or lose their life, is not a good credit to the government or anybody.
That's right. Now, beyond minimum wage, there are demands that the protesters are making. what do you think government should do in the immediate term to prove that it is serious with changing the narrative?
The immediate term, I believe, the protest is the hunger protest, and when a hungry man, you said, is an angry man, and first off, Nigeria should be fed. People should eat. People should.
So do you believe? Are you comfortable with the mode of distribution of palliatives? Because as much as our case in Benue may be different, because we have a man of God at the helm who maybe is ensuring that things should be done rightly. How about the other states where palliatives are not given to the right people? Don't you think this is bringing more fury in the minds of the people?
Like in Kogi yesterday, a video went viral of this 20 bags of rice. It was in the warehouse, boldly written on it, "Not for sale," to show you that the government actually says, but somewhere along the line it has found itself in somebody's warehouse and it is being rebagged. So just like Japheth is saying, in as much as we have a man of God who is trying his best here to ensure that what is due to Benue citizens come to Benue citizens, but the fact also remains that outside Benue we have other prevailing factors that cannot guarantee that what should be on ground will be on ground.
And that's the truth. I believe in every 12 there's a Judah, right? And there are people who betray their positions and their offices and do things in a way and manner that jeopardize genuine intentions and programs of the government. I believe that the government at every level where this role of distributing and getting this thing to the people that really need it should step up their game and ensure that there's no loophole, no leakages in the distribution process. I think if they do that, this level, I think there's even a case in Benue where we had a truck in North Bank also. North Bank, there's a truck that was diverted or something, and people, the area boys went and attacked the warehouse and looted the amount, the numbers of rice that were there. And this is the leakage that we're talking about. If the government at any level of this distribution can up their game and ensure that the process of distribution is done fairly and in a way that things will not be mismanaged.
What about ensuring that people who are guilty are punished? Let's see. Let's not just be told. Let's not be media trial. Let's actually see them put behind bars so that Nigerians can have their nerves calm. That actually corruption is being fought.
Definitely, we as a government, even the assembly, will set up an investigation on that one to see what happened and how did the rice that's meant for the people end up in North Bank market.
Good, because some time ago, noodles
was found in Kano.
Found in Kano, and to date we do not know who did that. And this is an administration that is insisting on business as unusual. So things should be unraveled. Well, let's go on a break, but we must thank you so much, Honorable Agada Ismaila Samuel, representing of Badibon State Constituency in the Benue State House of Assembly. We want to thank you very much indeed for offering insight and for proving very clearly that you are not in support of the protest. Yes. Well, we will go on a break very quickly. When we return, we'll use a few minutes to take the papers and thereafter call it a wrap on the show. Please stay with us. back to the program. This is Daybreak Benue on Benue Television, and we're looking at the papers at this point. Let's take a look at the Nation newspaper. The banner headline, the kicker says, publisher suggests media survivor strategies at Jakarta lecture, page 6. And then work with security agencies, IGP tells protests, promoters. And then court restricts protesters to freedom. Peace parks in Lagos. Bishop don't follow Kenya route. And of course we have this one that says customs suspends import duties on essential foods items. 880,000 apply for 110 billion youth investment fund within 72 hours. And EFCC agrees Nakon boss over 90 billion Hajj fund. That's all coming from the Nation newspaper.
Now for the Daily Trust, we have the lead story. Organizers meet Inspector General of Police, insist on street protests. One of the riders. Federal government declares custodial centers red zone. Tinubu needs support to actualize policies, says Vice President Shetima. All this is on page 4. Now the picture story here, for those of you who are business savvy, FCMB will be offering shares in its public offer from July 29th to September 4, 2024. Payable upon application. This is a very good chance to invest in some shares.
And of course, that brings us to the end of there. You've had a lot of money. It's a business opportunity.
There's still room.
But this is where we have to say goodbye. We must appreciate the management of Benue Television and those at the back room for ensuring that we're on air. And for those of you who have been watching us right from the beginning to this point, where we have come to the end of our presentation here on Daybreak today, remember that Benue Television News is coming up at 9, so please stay with us. My name is Japhet Wahab, saying, if you must protest, do it responsibly.
And I also want to iterate what Japhet has said. All we need to do is do everything in peace, love, and unity. Thank you for staying with us on Daybreak. My name is Maureen. Have a pleasant day.